Good morning, good morning. Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Morning Well. Three things that you can look to here. The devastating US labor situation may be improving somewhat, IATA's view on air travel, and PBOC's assurance to Hong Kong. Wall Street ended Wednesday's session deeply in the green, with Dow Jones climbing more than 500 points and the S&P 500 logging its longest winning streak since February as lockdowns loosen around the world, boosting hopes for an economic recovery. Supporting sentiment further was positive economic data, the US private payrolls dropping less than expected in May, suggesting layoffs were decreasing as businesses reopened. S&P 500 was led higher by energy, financials and industrial groups. These groups have sustained the deepest losses in 2020, but all the three groups were up about 3% yesterday. Europe also closed higher by as much as 3.5% on the Euro Stoxx 50. Shares of small companies, which tend to be sensitive to the economy, also rallied. The Russell 2000 gained about 2.4%. Treasuries dived. The 10-year yields were up more than 7 basis points at 0.76 and the dollar slumped to its weakest since early March. The yen was the only major currency to lose ground against the greenback. Gold dropped by about 1.8% to 1696. Asian equity futures are signaling that the risk-on sentiment will continue. Oil prices are stalling after an extended run, with the Brent unable to stay above the $40 a barrel. So knocking market sentiment is a focus on the lack of production cut compliance from among OPEC members, particularly Iraq and Nigeria, ahead of a planned virtual meeting that's to happen today. Also not helping are the higher US inventories of refined petroleum products that also raises a question over the demand picking up. Some of Hong Kong's biggest foreign-owned firms said that they are in favor of China's controversial national security law for the city. Peter Wong, HSBC's top executive in Asia, signed a petition backing the plan. The bank said on its WeChat account, adding that the legislation will aid stability and economic revitalization to the country. The devastating US labor situation may be improving somewhat. While ADP reported that companies shed another 2.8 million jobs in May, that was actually a third of the estimated pace of about 9 million. Today is Thursday and jobless claims day as well. So first time unemployment claims probably will continue a 7-week downward trend, with economists predicting a drop by still a crushing 1.84 million, but that's down from the 2.12 million that we saw last week. Moving on to equities, Warner Music rose on its trading debut after its shareholders raised about 1.93 billion in the biggest US listing this year. Shares opened at about $27 and rose to about $31. Zoom Info is set to price after the US close and is targeting a price of about $21 per share. Reliance Industries completed the world's biggest rights offer by a non-financial company in at least a decade. The $7 billion share was subscribed about 1.59 times. The fundraising drive is aimed at paying down net debt down to zero and also aid in the group's shift towards e-commerce. Air travel may have hit its nadir on April 21st, according to IATA. The industry group said that air operations are up about 30% since then, though still down 73% from the 1st of Jan. This is interesting. Web searches for air travel began to exceed COVID-19 queries in mid-May, pointing to a shift in sentiment is what IATA said. Boeing surged as much as 12% after Third Point listed it in the firm's monthly winners report. Moving on to fixed income, Italy racked up a record 107 billion euros of orders for its 10-year syndicated bond offering a day before ECB decides whether to expand its debt buying program. The notes will be priced at about 9 basis points above the comparable secondary market levels. I've spoken about this in the past as well. Just ECB's actions in containing the risk on the peripherals have really helped, and the Italian bond yields have actually compressed a lot. Moving on to Forex, the PBOC can provide US dollars to back Hong Kong currencies peg should Washington impose sanctions, is what Financial Secretary Paul Chang told CCTV. The city has a currency swap line with China's central bank. The Bank of Canada, in the meantime, left its benchmark unchanged at 0.25%. They also said Canada's economy appears to have avoided the worst case scenario, prompting officials to wind down some of the market operations and pare back estimates of a big downturn. ECB day today. The European Central Bank is widely expected to increase monetary stimulus on Thursday. They would be the only major central bank to ease this week and one of the few to boost accommodation this month. Yet, rather than falling ahead of the rate decision, Euro is enjoying its longest stretch of uninterrupted gains versus the US dollar in more than 6 years. So the last time Euro USD closed higher for 7 straight trading sessions was back in December 2013. So this counterintuitive price action can be confusing, particularly because the central bank is also expected to release a very grim economic projection. So a couple of reasons that come to my mind. Improvement in risk appetite and weak US dollar is playing out against the euro, but also a sense of cooperation that has emerged within the eurozone with talks of this common bond issuance. So all of this is helping the euro USDs move higher. That is your market update. Thanks for listening in and speak soon.